reimburse you because you're not doing any county business on your personal phone. For electeds, our bills are subject to open meeting laws, especially with commissioners, so those would be open for anyone to peruse at any time. I don't think anybody comes in and does that, but they're welcome to at any time. And we would also be just, again, transparency, sharing what kind of phone it is, and agreeing to this policy. So again, it's really just from MACO and altered to be a Broadwater County document. So any questions, any clarifications?
I have a question.
Corey?
Were you saying they provide that up front to show that they are the reimbursement costs, or they provide it monthly?
It depends, some are different. MACO does it yearly. I asked Debbie, they also do it out of the paycheck, so, or into the paycheck as income. So if you were going to be getting a $20 reimbursement, it would show in your paycheck that you received $20 additional pay, and off of that would come your FICA, your work comp, all those things that come off. I talked to Debbie about that. She said IRS rules don't require that because this is more of a reimbursement, especially with documentation, and it would be easier on her to just write a check. I asked her, would it be better annually or monthly, quarterly? She said it really doesn't matter to her. So, does that answer?
Something I think we need to clarify though too is it says it says monthly access plan charges. That's just the top of the front of your bill. If you look at your bill, you get monthly access charges. It's just what we're charged. That's not including the 32 pages afterwards that show all the calls coming in and out. So that needs, I mean, if that's what we're gonna require, whether, that's not gonna show us if there's any business being conducted or not.
No, and that's why they suggested the full bill. So if we need to clarify that.
Yeah, because, well, it says here is Broward County Reserves, the cell phone data reimbursement allowance, where did I just read that? Okay, employees receiving a cell phone data package reimbursement must provide a copy of monthly access plan charges. So, that's just your front of your bill that says this is, my bill is $322 or $22 or whatever. That's all it's saying. That's not saying you're submitting your call log.
Okay, so we should add that so that it's clear. I'm not.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, the only thing, I mean, and I guess that's where, and the reason why I don't do it is because my phone goes off 24 hours a day. There's no way that I would ever, outside the office calling me, would know who's calling me in a call log. I mean, Sheriff Dutton could call me, but I don't have his phone number memorized, so I mean, that next step would be, in order to determine whether or not it's a work call, we'd have to go through and check all the numbers to see who called you. And to confirm it or not, whether it's Sheriff Dutton or Sheriff Curry or Sheriff Edwards or any of his crew over there in Cascade. I mean, so I think that really, to me, you know, I'll eat the $20. I mean, I care less. It'd take me longer to try to figure out what phone call was work related and what wasn't. And that's the reason why I don't, but I guess that's the little confusion. I think that's some of the apprehension of the staff over at the sheriff's office is trying to decipher, you know, if we have to go through and decipher which one's work related and which one's not. Good Lord. That's why I have unlimited phone calls, because it's easier.
So you're absolutely right. There's no way, Michael, 95% I wouldn't recognize the number. And by the time you go try to look all that up, I'd say it, like it's been a flat $20 reimbursement, it saves the county $24 a month.
Well, it's like,
And if it has to be looked at, I don't know about the state, how much they can come in and get those calls, but the FBI will step right in there. They know what they're.
I mean, just for example, this morning I've had probably 8 to 10 phone calls from either the guys, Kelly's or Kings and Leisure, or from other reporters, even from my own staff. And so, you know, determine whether or not the undersheriff calls me, is it work related or private, I just don't, I don't know, and there's no way for me to have I mean, the undersheriff does call for personal reasons other than work related, so, you know, I think it's, that for us, I know it might be different for you folks, but, and you're probably not gonna see a lot from the sheriff's office side of the house, just because we do issue the phones if they wanna carry, if they don't, and they use their personal ones. But the ones that do carry the personal ones like me, you know what, to me, it's just, yeah, I'm gonna talk on the phone, I carry it with me all the time anyway, so another phone call really doesn't mean anything, so, I guess that's how my side of the house feels about it, so.
Well, I think we should, we want to clarify a couple of things. So if you're reimbursing someone for business use of the phone, that means they're using the phone for county business at some point. That automatically makes it subject to public records review, okay? So if you have an employee who's calling the weed department, so he's calling people to confirm, maybe to get into a certain gate, to go spray some county something where he has to get a gate. But that's an example where you're using it for county business. That, by law, phone call records of public business are records, public records, whether it's a county commissioner or some other county employee doing it. Tracking that down, obviously, it sounds, as we know, is harder to do. So what I had recommended, I sent a thing from the State Department of Justice. Well, we talked about this a year ago, and I sent a thing a year ago. I didn't resend it. So, but what the Department of Justice does is they have the person sign a thing acknowledging that they may be giving up their right to privacy of their phone if they're getting the reimbursement, because by getting the reimbursement, it's automatically saying that some of your calls are not private, they're public business, and therefore they're open to the world. And then some are not, so you've got to go through that sorting process if it ever comes to where someone has to scrutinize it. What that thing also did was the person had to sign saying they would not do any illegal activity on their phone, they wouldn't, they wouldn't look at pornographic sites on their phone because it's subject to, it's basically partially public property now. And they wouldn't do political activity on work time now on their phone, for example. So what I would recommend if you do that is that we go ahead and add that form and have a person sign. And then it's not a matter of we've got to turn this stuff in every month. You may never turn it in. I never had to turn one in when I was at Department of Justice, but there was a lawsuit filed over some public records at the agency at the time, and other people did have to turn in their phone records because they were getting reimbursement, and they in fact had to turn in their private emails because they were doing public business on private emails allegedly, and that became all open. So I guess my point is, if you want to go down this road, fine. Notify every employee ahead of time that in doing so, your private phone may become public along the way. So we shouldn't give them the assurance that this will never be open, because that's not an assurance we can keep. They may have to if it comes to that.
So the way that this stands now does not clarify what is being said. All it's saying is that you'll just turn in what your monthly access plan charges are. That it's not covering any of the issues, the real issues.
Well, and what,
Except right here, we need to clarify that. I think you're 100% right. That's confusing if you understand is your statement, which I think you're right, that's just the first page. So, I think we can do some easy wordsmithing to make that more clear.
yeah, I think the initial charges were just to confirm you've got a smartphone or a dumb phone,
Right.
And then that was your set of rate of reimbursement. From then on, then you just say, hey, if it changes, let us know. If you get rid of the smartphone and go back to a track phone or something, just let us know, and then you'll get $10 less a month or whatever. I think that was the whole purpose of the initial confirming your charges. But then secondly, what we also did is we just had the person's supervisor attest that, yes, this person needs this for their job, blah, blah, blah. And if you trust their supervisor, then go forward. the point is that on the back end, if someone files a lawsuit and says, well, there's 5 people that work for the sheriff that are campaigning for Hillary Clinton on Brook Time using their phones, is that likely?
No.
Sorry, Donald Trump. Then they could say 4 of those 5 have county reimbursement, and boom, we're gonna look at their phone records, and then, yeah, they're gonna look at their phone records. So that would be an example where you would not need to harvest that bill and those calls every month, but if it goes back, yeah, you're gonna go through all of them, and then, yeah, they're calling grandma in Saskatchewan, well, that's a call we're gonna look at.
Yeah, I think signing that agreement is fine that way, all right too. But the thing is, and you know more about than I do really, I'm not so sure on the state, I know the feds, they can come right in, they just take whatever they want.
Well, they have to get a search warrant.
And I'm sure the state, when they're investigating, they can get it too.
Yeah, if there's an investigation, you can get a search warrant. If it's a civil case, you can get a subpoena. Yeah.
It'd just be a little simpler, I guess, or everybody know that if they sign that it's possible.
So we'll get this disclosure statement from Corey, it'll be page 4. That's what I'm hearing from the commission. Do you guys have any questions on this at this point?
It has nothing to do with if we have.
If you have a county cell
county
phone,
cell phone.
this
No.
is
And
totally
No.
separate.
Yeah, it's just those who want reimbursement for using their personal. I would say this, and if you guys wanna override me, that's fine, but I appreciate Department of Justice, their policies, but they cannot be compared to the policies required for open meeting laws for counties. We are totally different. You know, our trainings twice a year at conference are on open meeting laws, and one of those is sharing what you do. For the past 2 weeks, we've heard, you know, that you've been taking a number of phone calls, but you won't tell us until the appropriate time anything that's going on. I think it's important for open meeting laws that we have that, especially for an elected official, at least for a commissioner. I know county attorney, what you do is you know, has a whole lot more private stuff. Same with justice of the peace. Doug, I'm not sure that anything in yours would be personal, but I'm not sure how meeting laws apply to you. But I do know how it applies to us. And having a public phone made public at a request rather than having someone go through a FOIA, I think is a responsible act on our part to be transparent. And I agree with you, Nick, I think that the language needs to be crisped up on that, but that's where I stand on that, one little detail. So,
And honestly, I mean, this is good to have, but we have a lot more other issues to pay attention to than a cell phone issue. I think we need to cover our tails because we don't have anything, and when we don't have anything, we leave ourselves up for liability. So we do need to clarify these things up. I'll just leave it at that.
do you wanna just, work on the language
Yeah, I
via email?
think, yep, I think we need to,
And get that,
we need for
Disclosure?
sure the disclosure from county attorney.
Okay. if you could resend that, we'll go ahead and forward it, format it.
And then fix the verbiage on this on page 3.
All right, we'll marry the two conflicting portions. We'll send an updated policy, and I think like you said, you know, and Corey's request of last week, we're gonna have a whole lot more policies. It's boring stuff, we've got a whole lot more important things to do, but it's something we have
We
to
still
do,
got it.
so.
Covered.
And for everybody who's got, use their own phone like that, like I say, it's saving at least $24 a month. And some of you have a lot of calls, it's saving the county even more.
I don't
Right.
have really calls.
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions, if you wanna email or come talk to us too during the week, feel free.
So how does the commission feel? I mean, would they prefer everybody use their own personal?
To be
phone?
honest with you, where I stand, just use the county cell phone.
That's, I mean, I don't want everybody to have my personal
Exactly.
cell phone number.
And then
And
you're not
that's-
subjected to losing your cell phone if something does come up. You don't have to turn in your cell phone. Is it a pain to carry 2 cell phones? Yes. But in the long run, it's gonna save you.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah,
okay, this is just county, this is personal. And I do this, I've done this forever, but, I don't have a problem with either one, but now my guys, now, 2 years ago, we came in here and we discussed this cell phone thing here, so they're getting $20 a month. Okay?
Right.
So, what this policy's saying is that now, if or when this thing gets signed in, right? That they'll still get their money. But now I got two guys that's got flip phones,
Okay,
okay? Now this thing here is saying that
You know, drop to 10.
it dropped to $10. Okay, TJ's got a smartphone. So in other words, he'll stay at 20, but their numbers are subject to going public.
yeah. That was one of Mako's things was, if you are a county employee using a county phone and somebody needs to get a hold of you, it needs to be a public phone.
Okay.
It goes on the website, it can be given out by Debbie. We can, on the website, we can keep the department head
Yeah.
only, but if somebody says, Willie was just grading my road and something happened, I need to get a hold of him, we give out his cell phone if that's what he's opted to use.
Okay.
Well, mine's listed all the time as my cell phone, that's what's listed for everything, for my county, because I don't have a county phone, I haven't had one for
Yeah.
over 2.5
Right,
years.
but he's asking about an employee, so it is a different monster that we're talking about.
So-
Well, I just didn't either.
So then, I guess, would they be able to be issued a county phone?
Oh, yeah,
Because we do use them quite a bit.
you betcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
And every department's needs are different,
Okay.
you know, so we don't have to, this is open enough that it can address each individual, each department's needs individually,
Okay.
but in keeping with the IRS
All right.
requirements.
Now, they're gonna have to turn in their bill then on this
Yes,
to get reimbursed?
yes.
Okay. All right.
But it's not public because they're employees, they have
No.
the constitutional right to privacy.
No, and that's fine. I just so I can let them know because
That's not.
there's not.
You don't,
Yeah, you don't.
Don't you have-
if you get a county reimbursement, you're giving up your right to privacy on the phone, that's what I'm trying to say. I mean,
Oh,
all
okay.
all your calls you make at that point are public calls, public record. Obviously, the public ones are. The problem is, I had to sort out public versus private calls or whatever you're doing, text messages on a phone, you get partial reimbursement. So that's the issue. is-
The other issue that Dana just brought up is you have past practice is we paid $20, now we're gonna bump it down to $10.
But we're not taking away something like a benefit.
Right.
We're just having a policy. We can address that if you want.
Well, no,
Well,
I'm just
So if
saying.
you're using your own phone, you're saving the county, you'll be saving $30 a month instead of the 24, or 34, what it is.
Yeah, because they're gonna be questioning this one pretty hard, especially after it was already brought up 2 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, I don't care. I know where I'm at, but
On
Right.
my phone, most of mine are messages, and I just wait, unless it's something I have to call right back, I just wait till I get to the house, I use my landline phone to save the minutes. About 80% of them, that's the way I do it.
And then, I think this is part of just going into the 21st century, where we could do things just verbally, one-on-one, just thinking entering the world, you know. So, if you guys have any questions, let us know. We'll be sending this out via email, work on some verbiage. All right, anything else from you guys? We're in budget season, everybody's turning in their budgets. Any questions after that? No? All right, Debbie, we'll be back on Wednesday.
Did you get my request for meeting on the next agenda?
Yes, sir.
Need a signature on this?
Okay, can you leave it with Ann, and I'll take care of it at the end of our morning session?
Okay.
All right,
And then Fran, because I'm on the back way, please clean that out. And so, and I don't know what else is on the agenda for you guys, but Brad and I are gonna be gone this week. We're gonna be in Missoula at the Sheriff's Conference. We'll be back Friday. Captain Wenzel will be leaving Wednesday evening, along with Commissioner Portals, to their family vacay down in another warm and fuzzy state. And so, just so you know, Detective Reddick and Sergeant Buck will be the two people who will be handling important sheriff's office business, and Deputy Anderson will be the coroner while we are gone. So that's kind of where that's at. And just so you're aware, we are down to 8 horses now.
All right.
So we took care of one this morning,
Dun, dun, dun.
and all 4 of them have been castrated as of this morning. And so the studs are no longer studs. And I did adopt Gump this morning.
Nice.
So I will, since I did a claim for boarding and feed for the month of June, I will be reimbursing that appropriately back to the county for the other, what, I don't know how many days we have left, 19 days left of the month, so I will be reimbursing the county for that, so, okay. And then Wednesday, we're gonna be down to 6 horses, because we will have 2 leaving Wednesday morning. And I think we're gonna work on the rest of them to try to get majority of the studs. We're gonna hold on to the studs a little bit just to get them calmed down, because they're still study. They think they are. Won't be holding, they can't see between their legs. So, but they, probably in the next couple of weeks, all of our horses should be on their way somewhere else. So hopefully by the mid next month, horse rescue and rescue horses will not be a conversation we'll be having. So, okay?
Nice.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Okay.
All right, thanks, man.
Yes, ma'am.
Before we get into just kind of, it's more of a work session for us, I wanted to just bring up just our last pieces of mail. This is from WWC, and this is either their travel gear for the Galsaburi subdivision or for the building project. Just wanted to know if you wanted to take that out of the legal fund that we have, or if you guys have an opinion at this point. We can ask Debbie where it works best when we don't have an opinion.
I'd like to know, get the clarification if it is for Galsaburi or if it is for the building.
What are the dates on there?
3/11, 4/14, 4/14, 5/17.
14.
So are you done with the department heads?
Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Sorry that wasn't clear.
3/11.
These two we need to ask. Nicole, 517. Do you know what these are for? In fact, would you take that and just let me know if you know what those are for and turn it into Michelle? All right. Perfect.
That'd be great.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I got,
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say right now or not, but Sean Higley called me Thursday night and brought to my attention that we will be, we're about 2 weeks out on being awarded grants for our Deep Creek and our Dry Creek stuff, so. A couple
Good news.
bridges and, well, 2 new bridges, repair 1 bridge and that stuff. on Dry
Culverts.
Creek, so. Yeah, we'll pull the culverts out, put
No,
bridges
I'm
in. Carson and Lightning Barn, and then we'll fix the one on Clockton.
So I mean, there's some culverts going in on Dry Creek Road right there.
Yep, yep, and I'm thinking that's probably involves that box pipe, I think, coming underneath Flynn Lane, I believe.
Okay, that's gonna be a box culvert.
Yeah, it'll be a big box pipe,
Yeah.
I think, so that'll be good. Get that taken care of.
Awesome.
Anyway, he was gonna do something to make it official, I don't know what, but guess it is. So, anyway,
I'll have that letter for you. I totally spaced it. I got swamped,
that's fine,
so I'll have it for you today.
that's good. Okay.
All right. Anything else, Dana?
Not really. I know we, let's see, we discussed one time about, you were working on policy for our clothing allowance thing. Have you done
Oh,
any more of
yeah.
that? Okay. Yeah, we should get something in place for that here, so. You know, we don't do much, but, you know, steel toe boots and some green shirts and jackets, you know, so we
You bet.
can be a moving target, I guess.
Well, there's other entities that do the same thing. We just need to clarify it.
Yeah, yeah, I know, and we haven't done a policy, but we need to get something there, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll get with you, or we can figure that out, I don't know how you wanna do that, but just let me know.
Sure. Or that first week of July, you know, sit down and mull
Okay.
some of it over.
Alright. Sounds good.
All right. Anything else?
I'm gonna be gone last week in June.
Okay.
I'm gonna be helping getting Blake's, set up for Blake's wedding, so. That's gonna take a little bit of time.
Would you send us an email so we have the dates?
Yeah,
Thanks.
yeah.
All right. We have a budget to get turned in to Debbie.
Yes.
Would you guys, you want copies?
Yeah.
This was sent via email, a couple of weeks ago, and I bought you to make us some copies so that we're all working off the same page. These. And so maybe what we'll do is just a 5-minute recess. All right. You know what, I'm just gonna give you the whole thing. I don't know who all is in here. This is gonna pull out commission stuff, but thank you, Anna. Yeah. Adjourn for 5 minutes, or recess for 5 minutes.